Unfortunately, yes guys, this is the final episode. This is where this what if come to an end, and yeah, it's a real bummer. But you already know, all you have to do is just relax because new what ifs are popping up soon guys, for you to relax and enjoy all of them. So stay in tune and just enjoy guys. But today I'm going to be giving the final episode of What If Naruto Got a new tail beast from the Shinigami. And I hope you enjoy. Also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Awakened His True Potential over in Anime King. And enjoy that guys, yes. I indeed have 3 channels if you're new: Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, without further ado, what do you say we leap on into this new episode? Start the intro. So the last spot we left off, the proceedings of the Chunin exams took place. Several matches went off, including the ones of Naruto's team. However, they show off their blades in doing so. The Konoha Jonins narrow their gaze towards them as they notice the weapons that they use. After all, those were well known around the Elemental Nation, the 7 Swords weapon. So, well, they got suspicious after all. They were supposed to be Genins. Still, the matches went on, and Naruto team dominated the entire fight. As Mito team also made it through as well, all of them getting through, and the finals were set. So with that, Naruto was asked to speak to the Hokage by Uncle, as she was sent to get him. As he told his team to get ready as he made his way. Arriving towards the Hokage's office, he stood in front of his father. The both of them spoke. Minato made it clear that he was not over what Grim did. He killed Kakashi, as that was something he could not and never forget or forgive. However, Grim told that he never asked for his forgiveness. Minato used Sage Mode as he tried to sense Grim out. However, what he found startled him. Once Grim was excused, Minato explained to Jiraiya that he sensed like 1,000 people gathered in one spot, which made no sense. The outcasts were always known for their strange ability, but this one was a bit strange than most that he ever noticed before. Naruto and his group then proceed to go straight towards Kiri. Arriving there, he told them that he had some time off until they got back to their training for the month, for what is to come. They knew that it wasn't Chunin exams after all. They were stronger than all of the Genins there. So something else was at afoot here. So with that, Naruto made his way towards Mei as he explained that Orochimaru was the Son Kage that had speaking to her. Despite that, she still wanted to hear all the facts, as the old man was there as well, as they informed her about their own opinion. Ayo as well, as they told her what they think she should take on this matter, how she should proceed, as she took in all of their consideration and thought about it as well. So yeah guys, basically let's pull it off. You guys can switch across the play, check it out for yourself. And what do you say we jump into this final episode guys? It was about 6 hours as Naruto stepped on the streets of Kiri, as he yawned, pushing it away to the side though, hiding his exhaustion. A very fast journey from Konoha to Kiri, followed by a 6-hour meeting with me and her advisors, going over everything and hashing out the plans. It had taken a lot out of him. Ideally, he wanted nothing more than to go home, strip off his clothes and get into a hot bath, and then crash into bed and sleep for the next 10 hours. Unfortunately, he made some promise ahead to Mina's, Kiri's most populous bar, to meet up with his old teammates Clementine and Victor, both of who would likely be there considering the time. He hadn't seen them in some time now since he went to Konoha. A week or so may not seem like long, however, considering that they had been a hunter team. This had been the longest they had spent apart from one another, since they first met all those years ago. Not that he would be getting all emotional about it. as he knew that neither of them would be, as he made his way down the street. As he arrived towards the bar, he waved towards Mina, who was drinking some crimson liquid, as she acknowledged her fellow outcasts, as he scanned the room before he locked on where his friends were. As Naruto moved, he released a young chunin of his drink before he can even take a sip, the man not even noticing as Naruto collapsed in the couch. As he took a gulp of the drink. "Well, you look like shit," said Clementine, her pink eyes looking at him, as she lounged back. "Well, I feel like it too," said Naruto. Thankfully, she had not sharpened her teeth like Victor and the other swordsmen of the mist. "Rough time in Konoha?" Victor asked, in amusement. "What?" Clementine said, slamming her fist on the table, as if a couple of tree huggers would bother pain. "Nah, it wasn't that bad in Konoha. It was surprisingly pleasant, actually. I'm just tired. I only got back a few hours ago, and have been in a debriefing with me ever since. Several hours alone in a room with me. That sounds like a wet dream for you," Clementine said, as Naruto rolled his eyes. The old man and that prick Ao was there as well. "So, you weren't interested in a foursome then?" Clementine shot back, before she then grimaced as she thought about what that would look like. "Don't be disgusted, Clementine," said Victor, as he too had a mental image of that horror show, as Naruto decided to change the topic. "So, how about you? How the training went?" "Well, basic training is done, and we're now officially full members of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen," as Naruto raised an eyebrow. "When I say basic training, I mean learning what the weapons do, and incorporating that into our fighting style." As Naruto nodded, that made more sense than the both of them learning a different style of fighting completely. "I take it you had a bit of trouble with that," said Naruto, as he noticed Victor had some new stitches. "Yeah, but nothing I couldn't sort out. You would be surprised how compatible a member of the Stein clan is to using a sword that is basically an oversized sewing needle. It will make replacing my limbs and organs so much easier." As Naruto turned his gaze towards the other person at the table. "Hold on," he said. "I take it that you all recovered. Still aching a bit, but I reckon I'll be alright in the morning," as he had stripped off the armor. "I also tried to get Kojiro and Suigetsu to come, but Mainjutsu managed to corner them first, and I have no idea where that psycho took them. But I think he's still drilling them in their swordsmanship, even now. Well, May has ordered me to take you and the other brats, and run through some training with you. Hopefully Mainjutsu is not too harsh on them. I don't want to be inconvenienced by that twat." "I take it that this is related to your previous mission," said Victor, ignoring the comment about Mainjutsu, because Pain was right. Sometimes he can be a twat. "Sorry," said Naruto, "can't say it's classified. Same with a lot of my missions, you know how it goes. Can't be too careful, especially in a shinobi bar." "Don't worry about it, Pain. We also know what that shit is like. We've also been grounded in Kiri as well for the next month to hone our skill and whatnot." Clementine said as her tone then became sarcastic, "And considering that we're supposed to act as a Mizukage bodyguard when we go to Konoha next month, I wonder, is our mission related?" "I'm sure that you'll be fully briefed by me at a later date," said Naruto with a smile, but he said no more on the subject. Someone else was over to the side as well, as Naruto couldn't remember her name. She had pale, flawless skin, dark eyes. As she was around their age, overall he would say that she was quite an attractive girl. On top of that, he could tell that she was a shinobi as well, by her looks and her presence. And she wasn't too keen on him. She gave him a frosty look. Following Naruto's gaze, Clementine let out that snort of amusement, as she thought he did not recognize her other companion. "What's the matter, Pain? Don't know who she is?" Naruto sent Clementine a scowl. As he looked back, he was about to introduce himself. However, the girl interrupted him though. "I know who you are, Pain. Or should I say Grim. My name is Hawk, and I believe that we met briefly in Wave, just before you gave your friends the order to kill my master. You're that Yuki girl that we brought back, aren't you?" "Yes," Haku said, her tone quite cold, as Naruto smiled a bit uncomfortably. "Well, I suppose it's nice to meet you. How are you settling back in here?" She narrowed her gaze before she lightly shrugged her shoulders. "It is more tolerable than I thought it would be. I am encouraged to train more regularly, and Lady Terumi is far more welcoming. It is far different than under the ruling of the 4th Mizukage." "Well, that's good. I take it there is no hard feelings about bringing you back here. I have accepted my new position, and although I'm unhappy about Master Zabuza being killed, I am otherwise content." Her tone was a bit cold, making Naruto wonder if she was really as content as she made herself out to be. "Oh, she's so polite, isn't she?" Clementine said, as she threw her hand around the girl's shoulder, pulling the flustered girl into a half hug. "But don't worry, she warms up to you. You should have seen how pissy she was with me when we first met. But look at us now, we're like the best of friends." As Naruto raised his eyebrows, he saw Haku's eye twitching, as she tried to squirm out of Clementine's grasp. "I see," he said. "I mean, don't get me wrong, she tried to kill me a few dozen times. But after kicking her ass half a dozen times, she finally calmed down." Clementine says she finally released the girl. Much to Haku's relief, however, she did not move away, as Naruto thought. "Well, you can't really blame her for attacking you, Clementine. You did tell her to her face that you were the one that gutted Zabuza, like a pig," said Victor, as he repeated word for word what Clementine told the girl. "Meh," said Clementine, not really caring. "Classy as always," said Naruto. "You know it," said Victor with a grin. "You know, maybe the next month won't be so bad. It will almost be like a holiday." Hold on suddenly spoke up, with an amused smile on his face as he watched others interact. As Naruto grinned, "Well, it will be like a holiday for us. However, for you, Malta Janine, it will be like hell on earth." As Odon groaned at that, ignoring the fact that he was technically still a Jonin, just one that was demoted. "You're going to be a dick to us, aren't you?" "Come on, Hodan," said Clementine. "You've known Pain for a long time. You should know what he's going to be like." "Yeah, he's going to be a dick," said Hodan. Time skip in Konoha. A frustrated, concentrated emotion was on Erza's face as she slashed at Jiraiya, her golden blades whipping through the air as she danced on her feet. "Predictable," said Jiraiya as he palm strike, taking advantage of any strike that she left open as he backpedaled, avoiding her slashes. As he kept his strikes at high Jonin level, so they would hurt, however, they would not cripple her. "Stop talking," as she lashed out her blades. She spun and lashed out a kick before she twirled. Her blades extended a foot forward as she lashed at him. "Whoa, close," said Jiraiya as he vanished in a sudden chin and appeared behind her. As Erza jumped away from his strike, she then twisted her leg as she brought herself down, using chains as she shot them towards him from the bottom of her feet to catch him off guard. Surprise counter. "I like it," said Jiraiya, as they burst and sever him in half, only for him to turn to mud a second later. "Gotcha." He burst from the ground and grabbed her by the throat. He proceeded to lift her up and slam her in the ground. However, her body burst in smoke. As there was several poof, he was now surrounded by an army of her clones, all of them wielding golden blades. "Well, shit," said Jiraiya, as all of them launched at him, forcing him to get a bit more serious as he dodged and weaved, dispelling and destroying the clones. However, the armor that they were wearing meant that he could take at least a half dozen blows before they dispel. Something that surprised him because after striking one of them down, when he thought it would dispel, he got slashed across the arm. Jiraiya ran backwards as he slammed his hand on the ground. The earth erupted to razor-sharp spikes. A half dozen of them dispel, but the others leap from spike to spike as they lash and retreat. A few minutes later, Jiraiya had to resort to a fire jutsu as he leapt out of the earthed spikes, his body covered in small cuts and slashes, released his fire jutsu in the center. That should do it, he thought. However, there was a golden barrier there. Quick thinking and a solid defense, said Jiraiya as he rushed forward. However, the dome exploded outwards. Erza shot out of it, three tails behind her, her body covered in fox chakra, as she took on the animalistic features. As her red armor spiked around her, blades coming from the back and the shoulders, she created a red jagged blade that was larger than the other ones. "Okay, I think that's enough," a voice called out from the sidelines. Erza dropped the Kyuubi cloak as she looked over. "Father." "That was good, Erza. Very good," said Minato. "You have far better control over your three-tail cloak now, and your combat skills are nearly exemplary. I think that you're more than ready for Chunin exams." Erza grinned as she heard that. Chunin exams? If it was me, I would name her a Jonin right here and now. Jiraiya spoke up loudly, a grin on his face. The girl is a prodigy. Hell, she would have kicked me, Snad and Orochimaru's ass if she fought us when we were her age. And I have no doubt about that. And I would if I could. Erza blushed at the praise that she was getting. But protocol has to be followed, and if I promote her in a spot, from Genin to Jonin, I would be accused of favoritism. Though it would be better for her career and mine, for her to rise to the ranks, from normal and feel promotion. It's okay, father. I'm happy to work my way up the ranks. Besides, mother always say that experience is the best teacher. And I'm nowhere near enough to be joining yet. However, she thought about someone her own age that was able to become Jonin at his age. Minato could read her like a book. You're thinking about that pain character, are you? She looked up towards her father. Am I that transparent? Hey kid, I wouldn't worry yourself about a shinobi like that pain. There are some people out there that are absolute monsters, born in a crucial war and death. They become even S rank rather quickly. As he patted her on the shoulder, that being said, he said to her, one of these days you will be on that level. For now though, all you have to do is focus and get stronger on your own in your own time. Don't bother trying to compare yourself to others, said Jiraiya. As Erza nodded at that statement. Alright then, let's head over to where your mother is training Mito, and then we can get some lunch. You don't want to push yourself too hard after all. The next stage of the exam is starting tomorrow. As they made their way towards the other training yard, the one that Mito and Kushin had occupied since the month started. As Erza walked, her mind drifted towards pain, unable to shake off the bond that she felt with him when he had saved her life. She knew that she should probably hate him after all he killed Kakashi. However, she felt close to him. She wasn't sure why though, but there was something just so familiar about him that she just couldn't tell. Outside of Konoha, the same time, a grey hawk scanned around the area before it dispersed. Looks like we're almost there, Naruto said, as the bird came back to him. The chakra of that bird, as he had consumed it and used it. He looked through the bird's eyes to scan the area before they entered. Well duh, Clementine said, as both of them were wearing their hunter in masks. I could have told you that half an hour ago. I mean, we just passed our road sign. Oi, could you two stop pissing around? As they glanced around for any sign of ambush. As Naruto landed down, so did Clementine. And what's crawled up your ass, said Naruto. As Clementine chuckled to herself, where do you think he keep his sword? Victor's eye twitched at that as he glared towards her. We have a job to do, and this isn't hunting down some ninjas and killing them. This one is protection detail. Protection for a Hokage no less. I know that, said Naruto, and that is why I'm scouting out the way ahead. Oh? And I thought it was an excuse so that you can just get up high and look down Lady Terumi's dress, Clementine said, with a smirk. I think that would probably be a bonus for him, said Victor with a grin. Tell me, Victor, has anyone ever sew your mouth shut before? Because I can try it out now if you like. You're years too late for that, my friend. My mother had that idea years ago. Well, I would still be willing to give it a go, said Naruto, his crimson eyes glowing behind his mask. Clementine turned with a grin. I can hold him down if you need, when you three finish. I would like to get to Konoha sooner or later, said Mei. Her lips curled up in amusement as she saw three of her most powerful shinobis bickering like children. The rest of their group consisted of the Genin team, as well as another tall shinobi that looked a lot like Suigetsu, because he was his older brother named Jutsu, as he was another member of the Seven Swordsmen of the Mists. Yes, my lady, said Naruto, as Mei rolled her eyes as she heard that, as her shoulder lightly brushed against his as she made her way. As the others follow along, after all, the Chunin exams were about to begin. Time skip. My lady Mizukage, said Minato, respectfully, as he gave her a slight bow of his head, looking over towards her guards, well, one in particular, Grim, or rather Pain, as he now go by, if that was his real name. It's an honor to finally meet you in person. It's an honor to meet you as well, Lord Hokage. It's not often that one finds himself in front of the infamous Yellow Flash, she replied just as pleasantly, as she returned the bow, her green eyes sparkling with amusement. As Minato nodded at that, but his smile did become a bit meek to his moniker. His name Yellow Flash had several things behind it. The great deeds that he done for his village, but also the thousands of men and women that he slaughtered in battle. It was a feat that had ended the Shinobi War. It had terrified, fascinated, and shocked many people. But anyway, I do thank you for hosting a Chunin exam this year. They seem to be going quite well. And thank you for the hospitality you have extended towards my shinobis, and my stay as well. Minato smiled, truthfully at that. As he might not trust this woman, however, she was a pleasant person to both speak and look at. Far cry from the other Kages who were older, aggressive, arrogant men who all had obvious personality flaws. However, Mei Terumi seemed to just ooze sexuality, and she had this gaze about her that just draw you in. However, she was a Kage of a neutral village, and one did not become a Kage for no reason. It is no problem, said Minato as he looked towards her and her bodyguards, his own advisor and his bodyguards behind him, as they were standing just outside the Hokage's tower, as they made the formal meet and greet before the exam started up. Watching this, Naruto wished that he had went with his Genin team, who had to book in the rooms once they arrived, as he watched the two Kages made meaningless chatter, which none of them really mean or care about. As Naruto ignored the bodyguards hiding in the shadows, looking behind Minato he saw Jiraiya. Kushina was also there as well. Making eye contact with her, he was surprised when she gave him a smile and a nod. No hint of distrust or suspicion was in her eyes, something that took Naruto aback. However, she could just be masking these emotions, but he doubted that was the case. But she was not acting negatively towards him. Perhaps it's because he saved her children. However, Jiraiya was a different story, as he was not trying to hide his look of distrust towards him. Well, anyway, I look forward to watching the exam go off without a hitch. Yes, and can I say I hope for a Konoha victory, said Minato. Well, I'm afraid we'll have to disagree on that. I mean, how can I not cheer for my cute little Jenny, she said. I suppose I can't blame you for that, said Minato. However, if you might excuse me, the duties of being a Hokage are never ending, and I have other things that require my attention as well, despite how pleasant this was. Why, of course, I understand exactly where you're coming from, as she led her group away towards a hotel that was set aside for the village leaders and the daimyos. As Naruto noticed, Minato whispered a few words to Jiraiya, as he gave the Kira group an odd look at Naruto as well, before he turned his gaze. Time skip. Sometime later. So what do we do now, said Clementine, as the group of Kira shinobis, minus the Genins, gathered in Mei's suite, as they had searched the place for any listening devices or seals, while we attend the Chunin exams of course, and support our Genins as they represent our village, to the spectators, the nobles, and the daimyos alike. Mei said as she leaned back in her couch. Pain, Victor, and you, Clementine, will be joining me in the Kage box as my bodyguards, while Mainjutsu will be taking over as the Jonin sensei of the group. Why the sudden change? I'm one of the 7 ninja swordsmen and your bodyguard, Mainjutsu said, as he did not spare Naruto a glance. They did not really dislike each other, however, they didn't have anything to do with one another either. Because I'm going to be in an era filled with Kages, Sanins, S-rank shinobis, I'm going to need my ace with me if I'm going to come out on top, said Mei, as she gave Naruto a look at that. As he looked at her, you think it's necessary, he asked, cryptically, not specifying what he was talking about. As Mei nodded, I believe so. With so few of us in the village at the moment, we will have to use all of our trump cards if we wish to come out on top. Mei responded as she looked towards Mainjutsu. So that's it. You think him stronger than me, said Mainjutsu. Due to his unique and overpowered bloodline, he is indeed stronger than you, Mainjutsu. There's no doubt about that. Especially when working in his 3-man team. I am not about to lie to you, but you are still one of my strongest shinobis, and that is why I brought you. You and the 3 Genins will have your mission when the invasion starts. Mainjutsu frowned at that. However, he said no more, even though he didn't like it. As she looked over the group, tomorrow will be of crucial importance to our village. There can be no mistakes. Ayo and Fury, both of their orders and duties. So, do all of you. As they all nodded at that. Time skip. On the streets of Konoha, they went over the plan for a few hours as Naruto and Clementine decided to take to the streets, as the others stay as Mei guards. Thank the gods. I thought we would never get out of that stuffy room, said Clementine. It wasn't that bad, said Naruto, as he was still wearing his half mask that covered his mouth. Well, not for you, after all. You were in the presence of your precious Mei, said Clementine, as she saw Naruto eye twitch. She's got us there, said you, as Naruto eye twitch again. So anyway, where do you want to go, said Naruto. Wait, no bite retort? No witty comeback? Said Clementine. If you want my comeback, you can scrape it off your mom's face, Naruto replied, as some of the people gave him a look as they heard what he just said. Huh, straight for the mom jokes. Scraping the bottom of the barrel there, aren't you? You must really be distracted if that is the best that you can come up with. Low blows like that didn't affect her because she never met her mom. And she really had no family to speak of. And she really just didn't care. What do you think, said Naruto as he looked around. I think this is more than that. Normally you would be completely undisturbed. However, you being here in Konoha is making you act a little off. Where did you say you were from again, she asked. I did not, said Naruto. Nor did you give us your name, said Clementine. I wonder why that was, she whispered. Drop it, said Naruto. There was a harshness to his voice that was not there before. Whatever you say, Pain. However, you need to cheer up. We're in a festival after all. There's no need for you to act so grim. Really? A pun? Said Naruto. So anyway, where do you want to go, she said. Well, I wouldn't mind going somewhere to eat. I'm pretty hungry, said Naruto. Well, there's plenty around if you fancy grabbing a bite. We can even share, she said, her lips curving up into a grin. Hey, we can even bring something back for Victor as well. You know what I meant, said Naruto, as he knew that she was talking about the civilians. Fine, she said. So where do we go? There was a good ramen place. The last time I was here, said Naruto. Do they at least do drinks there, she said, as she could not stomach normal food. Probably, said Naruto as he moved. Because of her armor and weapons, well, civilians move out of their path. As he arrived to the ramen shack, Ayam noticed them as she moved over. Hey, nice to see that you're back, she said. So what can I get you, she said to Naruto. I'm in the mood for something pretty heavy. Lots of broth and lots of meat. Any recommendation, he said. I think I have the perfect thing for you, she said. Then please, do surprise me, he said. And what about you, miss, she asked, looking towards Clementine. I'm not really here to eat. If you have any drinks though, preferably the alcohol variety, I'll take that. Saucer of sake coming right up. Forget the saucer, just bring the bottle. And 2 shot glasses. As Clementine fished around in Naruto's pocket, as she pulled out his turtle wallet and slammed it on the table, as she grinned at him. He's Pain. Sorrow, my friend. She never did learn the finer points of conversation, manners, or etiquette. Bite me, said Clementine, as she smirked. Or would you rather I bite you? Maybe later, said Naruto. She blinked in surprise at that, as Naruto turned his gaze back towards Ayam. It's no problem, being a shinobi village. I get all sorts of eccentric people coming in. The Namikazes and Uzumakis being one of the examples, she said, as Naruto glanced behind him as he saw Kushina, Mito, Erza, and the young one, and a still scarred Sasuke, all 4 of them pausing at the sight that they saw. As Mito flinched, seeing the both of them, mostly on grim, Erza, and Kushina smiling, as Sasuke grabbed the scar side of his neck as he saw him. I'll just go and put in your order, Ayam said, sensing a bit of a tension between the groups. So, this is fun, said Clementine. Unlike Ayam though, she wasn't awkward, instead, she was enjoying this. Kushina, said Naruto. It's been a while, how have you been? Busy, she said as she walked over and sat down, her team following her lead. Nice to see you again, Pain. I was worried that you wouldn't be coming back, not after everything that happened the other month. Me commanded and I answered, he said, as he glanced. How are you all? Have you recovered from that unpleasantness in the forest? Yes, fine, said Erza, as she looked at Naruto with a strange expression. One I intend to use as a learning experience, she said. What she means is that she's been training almost continuously since the fight, Kushina said. Why? Is it because you want to catch up to that old sneak-faced bastard? Clementine quickly butt in, as all of them looked towards her. Oh, by the way, I'm Clementine, since old shit for brains over here did not introduce me. Charm, I'm sure, said Erza, as she looked at Clementine, not liking the woman a bit. But no, the one I intend to catch up with is Pain of Kiri. Someone who is not that older than me, but is already S rank. Wait, you want to catch up with me, said Naruto, as he looked rather amused. After all, back in their childhood, he was the one that wanted to catch up with them. And why would I not? You're a deadly and dangerous shinobi, one that is skilled beyond your age. What better measuring stick I can have than you? Her voice was still strong and confident, however. He noticed a bit of pink on her cheeks, as he saw the look and now understand it in her eyes. You saw it as well. I think your sister has a crush on you, said you. As he was mocking, Naruto's voice was filled with mirth and amusement. Shut up, said Naruto, as he looked towards Erza. Well, thanks, I suppose, Erza, he said. What about your sister? Has she been training with you too? Yes, she has, said Mito. And she's here. And she can answer for herself. Mito, Kushina said. Her daughter was just like her. Temper, and appearance, everything. Sorry, you just look a bit uncomfortable before, said Naruto. Wow, she kinda look like a tomato now, doesn't she? You know, with the red hair, round face, and the angry, red cheeks. Clementine said, as Mito's face reddened even more. Even Kushina groaned at the comment. And she once had that nickname as well. As Erza seemed to just hate the woman even more. You wanna go, Mito shouted. As her hands clenched into fists, her hair floated and waved behind her. Mito, enough, Kushina said. As her eyes turned towards Clementine, giving her a warning look. These shinobis are here as guests in our village, and should be treated as such. They should also act as such, said Naruto as he looked towards Clementine, who sent him a look of betrayal and confusion as well. She looked between the three of them. Indeed, said Kushina. Besides, you would be in a lot of danger if you fight her. She is not the type of shinobi a genin should be traveling with. Oh, you recognize me, Clementine said. Though I can't say I ever had the pleasure of meeting you before. I know I would have remembered. Nor have I you. But I've heard of you, said Kushina. As you know, Pain here was once known as the S rank hunter name. Grim. I believe you met him in Wave. Clementine, though, from what I have known, she's his former teammate. And known as the Cannibal, a A rank in her own right. And is responsible for killing Zabuza Momogai and many other missing names. Mito and Sasuke both flinched at the reminder of Wave. You're very well informed, then again I've heard. That pervert Jiraiya has a very good spy network. Kushina smiled, but she said nothing as pink and violet eyes locked together as some unspoken battle was taking place. But anyway, said Naruto as he looked towards his sisters. How have you been? I didn't speak to you after the events in the forest. Part because I didn't know what to say to you. After what happened in Wave. You mean after you kill our sensei? Said Mito. Yes, said Naruto. It's the life of a shinobi, few of us ever die of old age. Most of us fight until we meet someone better than ourselves, at which point we die. Sasuke spoke up. Death walked hand in hand with the shinobi. His tone was bland, his eyes not really showing much emotion. Naruto tilted his head to the side. Wise words. You're a Uchiha, aren't you? Sasuke nodded as he watched Pain crimson eyes looking over him. Then I suppose you'll be used to death. You are after all one of the last of your family. That's good. The sooner you shed your naivete, the longer you will live. Sasuke grunted as he looked away. Here are your orders. A large steaming bowl in one hand, a bottle of sake and glasses in the other, as she placed the trays down. As she turned towards Kushina and the others. Thanks, said Naruto as he basked in the wonderful smell. Finally, said Clementine, as she drank straight from the bottle. Don't they teach you any manners in Kiri, Erza asked. Oh, they do, but I'm not from Kiri. I'm an outcast, born and bred. Not like Pain here. I mean, who knows where he come from? As Naruto shot Clementine a warning look, as she grinned in response. Outcast, Erza said confused. I'll tell you later, said Kushina. So, is your team ready for the exam? Asked Kushina. As ready as they will ever be, said Naruto. Don't be modest, Pain. Our boys will crush the competition, said Clementine. You're very confident, Kushina said. Anything can happen, said Naruto. But what about you? Are you ready for the exam? As I said, I've been preparing, and I'm stronger than ever before. I am more than ready to meet any challenge that might come my way, Erza said, speaking up first. Yeah, and I doubt anyone would provide much of a challenge, even your team. Mito shot back, her gaze looking towards Naruto. Erza is not the only one that has been training. I have too. Not just my sensory ability though. I have also, not in front of shinobis from another village, Mito, Erza said, cutting her off. Not that there's anything wrong with you. Well, you know, she said. Yes, I understand, said Naruto. He glanced towards Sasuke, the one Orochimaru had been hunting. What about you, Uchiha, he said. No one will stand in my way. Well, that's good. As Naruto waved back over Ayam. Can we get another glass, please? Sure. How about a drink, Kushina, said Naruto, as he wrestled the half-empty bottle away from Clementine and filled the glasses. Kushina looked at the glass before she shrugged. Why not, she said, not seeing the way it could be interfered with. Hey, can we have some too, Mito said. Yes, I would like to join in as well, Erza said, her gaze once again on Naruto. No, you're too young. We're not that much younger than those two, Mito said towards a smirking Clementine and Naruto. Well, they're not my children, Kushina said. Sasuke knew that Kushina would not allow the drink either, however, he did notice when she said that pain mouth curved down, as he could see it moving under the mask, and his eye went down a bit. A very odd reaction to let slip like that. Strange. Kushina turned back. So what should we drink to, she said. To the Chunin exams. May they be bloody and brutal, Clementine said, causing the others to just sigh. To the peaceful coexistence between the different shinobi villages. Kushina said as Clementine scowled at that. Well, that would just put us all out of a job. To the future, said Naruto, as they clinked glasses before they drank. Time skip. As Naruto had to release a bored sigh. He stifled it though, as he looked towards the box in front of him. The Kazekage leader for Sen. The Son Kage was there as well. And the Hokage. And the Mizukage. As they were engaged in a verbal battle, trying to one-up one another without insulting each other outright. As the first competitors were called to start the tournament off, Clementine and Victor was also there, their masks on, as they were calm as usual in these circumstances. The other guards were all there as well, as they were mostly looking over Naruto as he was the only S-rank here in the bodyguards. Strange that Jiraiya was not here, as Kushina came over and whispered something in Minato's ear before she sat on the armrest, as Minato went red in embarrassment, as the eyes of the other Kages landed on him, as Kushina gave them all an amused look, as she turned to gaze towards the arena, putting any end to any questioning. Rolling his eyes at the woman's unpredictable actions, Naruto turned his gaze towards the arena instead. The place was already packed out, every seat taken by spectators. None of them were aware that war was gonna come to Konoha. And yeah guys, unfortunately, that is where it ends. A real shame, a bummer. However, you already know that new what ifs are coming up, so don't let this disparage you guys. New what ifs are coming up soon, so just sit back, relax, and yeah, enjoy. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto awaken his true potential over an Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And yeah, if you're new, I do have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, click the red subscribe button, become a part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now, see you guys soon, peace guys.